Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the late start. Taz and I were talking, and we were discussing how today's show is going to go. So, this story continues to be tragic to me. It continues to be tragic, not just because of the loss of life, but because of the establishment's response before, during, and after. I'm naming names today. So there may very well be a lawsuit out of this. I really don't care. I have the facts. Okay. Nothing I am going to say when I'm naming names is facetious, made up, or what have you. I am using actual stats for what I will be talking about this morning. Also, I'm going to say this right now, and I am going to ignore the comment section. I need you to hear me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm ignoring the comment section. So I'm going to say this one time, and then it'll be the end of it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. This is a touchy subject. I want to talk about this. I need to talk about this. Do not put your ass on your neck, please. Take it off your neck, sit down, and be uncomfortable for about maybe 2.5 hours. Taz, who you see on the screen here, will be the comment person. I'm not. I've got notes. She's got prompts. We want to have this conversation. This is an uncomfortable conversation. I'm letting y'all know that right now. So if this is one of them days where you were looking for goofy, maybe not today. It is Truthful Thursday. Okay, Taz, please take it away.
Today is one of those days that if you fashion yourself deconstructing, an ally, an advocate, an accomplice, class is in session. This is one of those days where you need to listen. This is not a day for you to center yourself. This is going to be a journaling day for you. You're going to need to. You're going to need to reconcile with some things. You're going to need to look within and look at your circle. It's part of what caused us to delay because we started discussing amongst the two of us. We got to look at our circles as well. And researching this, I told Thomas, I realize people that I will never be able to forgive in my life. And it's okay. And you have to realize at the end of this conversation, you will be changed. And the people around you may no longer be around you. But if you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed, step away. You can always come back and watch in entirety or watch in bits and pieces. Remember, you are human. We are all flawed, but we are here to get better together. Okay? And also, I need you all to also remember, Thomas is not in the Discord. And even if he was in the Discord during the show, he's not in there. I am. If you want something to be viewed, I can view it. But please try your best to put it in the Discord before the show. There's a lot that goes on backstage to try to keep up with. No one is ignoring you. You all have great ideas and you're very creative, but especially when the topics are heavy, there's a lot to pay attention to. So just ahead of time, if anything is not addressed or posted during the show, it is not personal. It is not meant to be that way or come across that way. Um, just trying to follow the flow can get a little overwhelming. But please get your coffee, get you a little Danish or a cinnamon crack roll. I don't know what you want.
Cinnamon crack roll.
And we can do this. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to be in the Truthful Thursday section of the Discord. So again, if things get difficult for you, if you have any questions, if you get lost in the sauce, please go in there. I will also put additional information in there so to help you as best I can through the conversation. Okay? We can do this.
Make sure y'all remember, nothing we do here at the Sound of Coffee, myself and Taz, there's nothing here that we do out of malice. We do it for love, for growth, and for understanding. I want that all understood before we begin. Love and understanding. Okay? No malice. It's out of love, growth, and understanding. All right. I'm going to begin by reading a Wikipedia page. Jason Atta Kue Arday, 9 May 1985, 14 August 2026, was a British academic and author who was a professor of sociology of education at the University of Cambridge from 2023 to 2026. Arday received international attention and resigned amid accusations of plagiarism and false claims in his research, as well as fabrications in his autobiographical account. This is on Wikipedia. One of the things y'all need to remember about Wikipedia is anybody can go in and put anything. Here's a perfect example. When Chris Benoit, when they did not know where Chris Benoit was, this is before we knew what exactly happened, somebody went into his Wikipedia page and said, killed himself and wife and son. This was before we knew what the hell happened. Chris might have done it. Somebody who's a fan of Chris might have done it. His next door neighbor might have done it. So Wikipedia is something that anybody can go in and edit a person's Wikipedia page. But this is Wikipedia, and that's how they're describing it. But that's not who Jason Arday was. That's not who Jason Arday was. Let me let you listen to exactly the person that Jason Arday was. Take a listen.
Hello? What did you say? Say again. And that was really the beginning.
On August 14, 2026.
Hello? And my mum's like, what did you say? Say again. And that was really the beginning.
On August 14, 2026, Professor Jason Arday, Cambridge University's youngest black professor, was found dead at his home in South London. He was 41 years old, a father of 2 children, 9 days after he resigned from Cambridge University and weeks after being accused of plagiarizing parts of his PhD thesis by University College professor Nathan Kofnes, a self-described race realist who has argued intelligence differs by race, which led Cambridge's Emmanuel College to cut ties with him back in 2024. So what happened to Professor Jason Arday? Here is what we know. Professor Jason Arday was born in 1985 in Clapham, South London, to Ghanaian parents. He was autistic.
In old money, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is commonly now referred to as autism. And I was diagnosed with global development delay when I was just before I turned 3.
In February 2023, he was appointed Professor of Sociology of Education at the University of Cambridge, becoming one of the youngest black professors in the university's history. On July 21st, 2026, Professor Nathan Kofnes, a philosopher then at Ghent University in Belgium, published a Substack post accusing Professor Arday of plagiarizing parts of his PhD thesis backed by detection software.
We think it's extremely important that the university tries to get ahead of this. In particular, we think it's important that all of the questions that have been raised in the media, or raised by this case, are looked at properly by the university, and that this happens in a hurry.
Media pressure continued to mount, and on August 5th, Professor Jason Arday resigned, saying the scrutiny had exceeded scholarly disagreement. On August 14th, 9 days after stepping down, Professor Arday was found unresponsive at a South London home.
Professor Arday has been victim of a 3-year-long witch hunt and smear campaign because some people do not believe that a young black man should be a professor at Cambridge, so they've been heavily scrutinizing him. You have all these media articles against him, and it clearly is a witch hunt because they're not comfortable with his role in the university.
What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments.
That came from Brut, Africa. So Jason Arday was a professor at Cambridge. I say was because, trigger warning, Professor Jason Arday took his own life. It is not just that he took his own life. It is not just the accusations of plagiarism, which then turned into going all the way back to his childhood, to talk to people who have not been in school with him in 40 years, 30, 40 years, about whether or not he was autistic, whether or not these things happen. Not just that. It is the person at the middle of the scandal, Nathan Coffis. Nathan Coffis and the media apparatus in Great Britain, in the UK. I want to play you something that this man actually said out of his own mouth. Let me find it.
The head of the Department of Eugenics and Race Science at Harvard, maybe. After the revolution, I'll be the head of the Department of Eugenics and Race Science at Harvard, maybe.
That came out of his mouth. Now, let's talk a little bit about Nathan Coffis for just a second before we get anywhere further in this. Right? This is from newscord-org /org on Instagram. Who was the primary source behind UK media's hounding of Dr. Jason Arday? And 3 things you can do now. His name is Nathan Coffis. His picture's on the screen. Who feeds the media? 200. I'm going to say this number blew my goddamn mind. This number blew my mind. 249 articles in 22 days led to Dr. Jason Arday's death at 41. But what about the primary source behind the story? That doesn't matter to the UK media. All that matters is whether it fits the narrative, but that's not journalism. So why is Nathan Coffis a problematic primary source? Who is Nathan Coffis? He is a self-professed race realist. He advocates for an hereditarian revolution and believes in eugenics. Eugenics. If you don't know what eugenics is, look it up. Please look it up. If you don't know what eugenics is, look it up. He's an outspoken Zionist and an active supporter of Israel. He was fired from Cambridge for his racist views. Same organization, the same institution that did not protect Jason Arday had this man on their campus. He currently works at Ghent University. Race realism, the belief that races are not simply social constructs, but biological significant categories. Race science, now regarded as pseudoscience, was developed to justify Western Europe's colonization, subjugation, and enslavement of the non-white world. Hereditarianism. Coffis believes that such races determine hierarchies. For example, from 2024, how black people are intellectually inferior. These are his words. In a meritocracy, Harvard faculty would be recruited from the best of the best students, which means the number of black professors would approach zero. Blacks would disappear from almost all high-profile positions outside of sports and entertainment. This is not the kind of, and it just trails off. Intellectual hierarchy. In contrast, Coffis argued in 2018 that Jewish overrepresentation in elite intellectual life is explained by, quote, above average intelligence. He cites a mean Ashkenazi IQ of around 110. He believes it. Believes in eugenics. Is the doctrine that those superior in society should reproduce. Zionism. Coffis is an avid supporter of Israel. He has justified the use of white phosphorus in Gaza and Lebanon and supports Israeli occupation of Palestinian territory. The connection. European colonialism relied on race science for its subjugation, white supremacy over non-white. Zionism, settler colonialism requires dehumanization and elimination, Jewish supremacy over Palestinian. That came from the news cord /org. Here is someone in the British media talking about Jason Arday.
And 88 articles on this man who is not a public figure over 9 days. That they just ceased to see him as a human. It was a blood sport for them. The Telegraph, the Times, the Spectator, disgusting. They have blood on their hands for this man. He is a human. They just thought clickbait was more important. The Times even had articles on Jason Arday where they was paid for advertising. And I just want to call out Julia Hartley-Brewer, you disgusting, vile woman, in my opinion, for what you posted on social yesterday, which says, she wrote, I'm pretty sure Jason Arday's huge book advance would be enough to cover his funeral costs. Give your money to a more deserving cause. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Now, before anybody thinks I'm getting ready to go here, let me stop this train right now. To my Jewish brothers and sisters, I love you. I respect you. Absolutely. 100% without question. I have never criticized Judaism, nor have I ever criticized Jewish people. I have criticized the Israeli government, which is my right to do. I hold no malice towards any Jewish person. And in fact, I had one of the reasons I do want to get all of my pictures from Germany together is because I need to show you the things that I saw when I went to Berlin. Where the Berlin Wall stood was a history of Jewish people in Germany. And there is a picture of a little girl, a little Jewish girl, that completely shattered my heart because she was put to death by the Nazis for what we would call developmental delays today. They called it, and this was the word, imbecilism. Nobody knows the actual day she died, but they do know she died in like 1940 something. So at no point will you ever hear me attacking Jewish people. That's not my thing. So Nathan Coffis's Judaism is not why I'm talking bad about this man. I'm only talking bad about the fact that what he did. But it wasn't just him. Nope. It wasn't just him. Yep, pink triangles. Yeah, Mary, I did. It wasn't just him. You see, several news organizations within the UK wrote article after article after article, so much so that I have a list of the people and this is again from News Cord, CORD /org. These journalists hounded Dr. Jason Arday the most. Here's how many articles they published about him since his death. We go with Albert Tate. Albert Tate of the Telegraph has wrote one article since his death. He wrote 14 before. Gordon Rayner of the Telegraph. So these two men are in the same building. They're in the same building. Why are both of you writing on this ship? I'm not going to be emotional yet. No. Gordon Rayner, one article after the death of Dr. Jason Arday, 12 articles before. Emma Yeomans, Yeomans of the Times, 0 articles after the death of Jason Arday, 8 articles before. Janet Eastman, Eastham, EASTHAM of the Telegraph. You got 3 Telegraph reporters all reporting on the same guy. Word. Again, I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm trying not to get emotional. One article after the death of Dr. Jason Arday, 6 articles before. The full list. This is the full list. Albert Tate, Telegraph. Gordon Rayner, Telegraph. Emma Yeomans, The Times, Sunday Times. Georgia Lambert, The Times, Sunday Times. Janet Eastman, The Telegraph. Richard Adams, The Guardian. Tom Williams, Times Higher Education. Jack Hardy, Daily Mail, Mail Online. Eleanor Harding, Daily Mail, Mail Online. Lene Bakari, The Guardian. Nicola Wolcock, The Times, Sunday Times. Sua Kawadi, The Independent. Bruno Brown, The Sun. Izzy Addison, The Independent. Tom Bell, again. No, he wasn't on there. Tom Bell, The Times, Sunday Times. Fiona Hamilton, The Times, Sunday Times. If I read to you the same outlet and how many times they reported on this man before, during, and after, it would break your heart. It would break your heart. Whilst our actions, this is from newscorp /org. Whilst our actions campaign target the editors and the IPSOs, journalists have a public-facing role. Their names are visible in bylines, and their work should be scrutinized. Journalists face no pressure. Even if journalists are, quote, simply listening to requests from editors, there is currently no downside to a journalist smearing and sensationalizing. On the other hand, their work can cause the real harm to real individuals. Complete lack of accountability. Journalism should mean adhering to a code that upholds morality. Nothing is enforcing that. The journalists who are now silent despite hounding Dr. Jason Arday whilst he was alive proves that it was a witch hunt. Otherwise, why is his death, the aftermath, his vigil, and public outrage suddenly not relevant to write about anymore? I will not read the rest. There is an overarching theme to today's show. The overarching theme is this: the exhaustion. I hate when white people use shit that black people made, and that will always stick in my craw. Always. I made a long video, which my wife is basically telling me I got to stop doing that because people's attention span is that of a goldfish. But I made a long video yesterday about AOC saying woke one was crazy. We have now reached the point in American society and worldwide society, if you really want to be honest about it, where white folks' inability to understand what the I'm asking for forgiveness right now because an F-bomb or two might flip out of here. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this. Please forgive me. We have now reached the point in worldwide society where white folks have completely torn apart and misunderstood every damn thing that signified why the word woke was necessary to black people in the first place. And now we have hit tiers. Woke 1 and woke 2. And this was said by a Puerto Rican congresswoman from New York. We've reached this point. Black folks tireless fight to simply get half the respect that a mediocre ass white man can get by walking his monkey ass in the door. The reason Jason Arday's story resonates so much with me is because I've told y'all my journey as a hyperactive kid. How I was an extremely gifted reader. I could read with emotion and passion and things of that nature. And how they put me in a special education course because I could not sit still. I could not. It was damn near impossible for me to sit my ass down and focus on one thing. But I was a gifted reader, hated math. I still hate math to this very day. Do you know how many black kids in America right now have the exact same problems I did, but instead of them getting the help that I got, they're getting disciplinary action? We don't know whether or not these kids are good readers or good mathematicians. We don't know whether or not they can do poetry. We don't know if they can read, not read, but do art and things of that nature. No, just hit their ass with expellment, send their ass to a bad school or one of those warehouse schools. But little white kids can do that shit, and it's gifted. Yeah, it's gifted until he comes in and kills everybody in his goddamn class because he felt bad. Takes daddy's AR-15 to school. 10 of his classmates died. Now, all of a sudden, now it becomes more relevant. Look at what he went through. He was this, he was that. Fuck out of here. Excuse my friend. Black kids, we get the stick. Little white kids to do the same thing get the carrot. When white people use the word black fatigue, number one, they're using it completely out of context. It's just white people feeling. And number two, it was a term coined by black people about the struggle to be black, not just in America, but in the world. The epigenetics that follow us. Dr. Joyce DeGuy calls it post-traumatic slave syndrome. But dumb white people don't understand it. Nathan Kaufis was to Jason Arday what trolls are to me on TikTok. The same, tired, do nothing, did nothing, achieve nothing as mediocre white men and women because they prop these punk ass bitches up. And they get so full of their mediocrity that I have to come in and justify everything that I do. I have to justify my military career. I have to justify my college degree. I have to justify why I live in the neighborhood I live in the house that I live in, why I have the wife that I do. But a mediocre white man could have half of everything that I have, and he gets a spotlight, Charlie Kirk. Do you know I have very few brand deals? Why do you think that is? Why do you think I have so few views on my video? Whereas Joseph Redden can be drunk on a live stream and the shit never get canceled. Because the rules are always in opposition to black excellence. Always in opposition to black excellence. Now, mind you, we're not saying black excellence because we're arrogant. We're saying black excellence because it's true. It is true. Don't believe me? Look at America's politics, particularly when it comes to the Senate, Congress, and the president. People were telling Jasmine Crockett not to run for Senate. She's loud, she's opinionated, she ghetto, whatever. Please put your money into James Tallarico. Put your money in James Tallarico. Put it in James Tallarico. Okay, so James Tallarico wins. But now it's, hey, Jasmine Crockett, we thought you were all these things before. Now you better put all that behind James Tallarico. Now, I don't know whether or not James Tallarico is a great candidate or a stirring candidate or not. I don't know. But I do know this. Right now, he ain't looking good. Right now, he's not looking good. Everybody loves talking about Bernie Sanders and Medicaid for all and blah, blah, blah. Bernie was the original election denier. He was the original one. Bernie Sanders started election denial. I said what I said. Because he lost primaries, and they were like, they're trying to the establishment's trying to take it from Bernie. No, Bernie's biggest mistake was taking his monkey ass down to South Carolina and acting as though black folks were just wallpaper on the wall. We have this flood right now, of white leftists showing their racism blatantly. Blatantly. Tell me something, y'all. What has Hassan Piker said that Tabitha Speaks hasn't said better? No, don't worry, I'll wait. What has Hassan Piker said that Tabitha Speaks doesn't say better? What has Chatty Matty or Corn Pop said on TikTok that Taz, Barbara J. Warren, Tabitha Speaks, well-read black girl, what are they saying that these incredible, smart black women have not said better? What? But in this land of woke 2.0, we have to forget what got us here in the first place, which is this: mediocre white men and the mediocre white women that prop them up, always having to be the center of attention in every goddamn situation at the detriment of so many different people. And then there's the presidency. Do y'all understand when we say Barack Obama is one of the best of the best? It isn't because he was black. It isn't because his policy. It's because he had to be. There could not have been a single blemish on that man's record. Couldn't be no baby mama. Couldn't be no drug dealing. You could smoke weed. It couldn't be any of that. Any of it. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because he'd have never made it. That man, his wife, and their children had to literally walk on broken glass with bare feet for 8 years. 8. He had to be above reproach. I'll never forget. Is America ready for a black president? Why isn't it? America's 200-something years old. You mean to tell me you're not ready for a black president? Really? You're not? What is taking you so long? You love it when Michael Jordan can jump from the foul line and dunk. Yay! You loved when Muhammad Ali was floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Yay! You love when Mike Tyson was making you mad that you paid $150 for a seat only to go get some popcorn, come back, and the goddamn fight's over. Yay! Leadership? Leadership. Go look up who was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I know who he is. I know who he is. I know who he is. Here's my problem. And again, I go back to this. Why did it take so damn long? Oh, sure, the teams could have been this, that, and the third, whatever. But you mean to tell me that there wasn't a better black quarterback than John Elway, Dan Marino, Steve Young, Joe Montana? Really? Why y'all think y'all go so crazy over Patrick Mahomes now? Because Patrick Mahomes sounds like white folk. I'm not saying anything bad about the man. Please do not misunderstand me. Because I don't want anybody in Kansas City want to beat my ass. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But what I am saying is this. It's awful funny, isn't it? Who was the first black? There you go. It's on the screen. Doug Williams. Do you think Doug Williams could have been the face of a winning Super Bowl team if he had been on crack or smacking bitches and going into clubs throwing money? Do you think they would have? Hell no. Oh, he'd have won, but he wouldn't have been the face. John Riggins would have been the face. But I digress. In leadership positions, now people become skeptical. Barack Obama literally had to be damn near perfect. And who replaced him? If you took away the money, if you took away the cocaine and Adderall, if you took away the influence, Donald Trump is a below average mediocre ass son, below average mediocre ass businessman, a below average mediocre father, a below average mediocre husband. In other words, he is the epitome of the below average mediocre white man in the world today. I want you to think about that for just a second. One man has to be so pristine that even his shadow doesn't have darkness in it. The other man just had to wake up. We've seen this clash over and over and over and over. Black men, black women, black gays, black theys, black children, black elderly, black disabled. We have seen this over and over and over and over and over again. That is where the black fatigue comes from, kids. That's where it comes from. And we've always known it's not just a American thing. This is a worldwide thing. Cambridge had absolutely no problem making Dr. Jason Arday their face. Oh, look, the youngest black professor in Cambridge history. Let's put him up front. And then a mediocre-ass white man who Cambridge fired decided, nah, I don't like that. Him not better than me. When in actuality, he was. He was. But did that stop him? Nope. Did that stop him? No. Take a listen to this.
Hello. I've just heard from Belle Rivera Addy. We've just spoken, and as a member of parliament, the Arday family are her constituents. And since Jason's passing has been reported, journalists have been outside the Arday family home. Have they not done enough? This is a summation of the conversation I've just had. How dare they harass a grieving family after everything that they have already done? Any outlet reporting from outside the house, pressing family members for comments, or publishing the name of the road, which many of them have already published, putting the family at risk of racist attack, should consider itself on notice. We could not protect Jason from the media. And now we must protect his family. Please share this widely.
The press is out front of Dr. Jason Arday's family home. His spouse and 2 children have to deal with this. He's dead. He's dead. And they're still out there. He's dead and they're still out there. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president? And I want other marginalized communities to bring your ass here. Let's have a seat. Let's sit down and talk about something. If you don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not think you can vote, cast a vote for Kamala Harris and be welcome in my community. Look at Dearborn now. What is going on in Dearborn right now? You got a Jake Lang sighting. You got a bunch of Nazi bikers there. And they didn't get welcomed into your community. They barged in it, didn't they? Didn't they? Jill is currently trying to outrun a warrant. Jill Stein is a mediocre white woman. Do you want me to take that back? No, I won't. Jill Stein is a mediocre white woman. When she ran against Hillary Clinton, did I agree with everything Hillary Clinton said? No, I didn't. I did not. My wife loathes that woman. But we voted for her because Trump was worse. But who popped up, all bad teeth and all, to play spoiler? The same mediocre white woman that is currently, as Taz just said, outrunning a warrant for her arrest. Jill Stein is a below average mediocre white woman. Say what I said. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Oh, that's right. I will vote for Donald Trump. Dearborn invited Donald Trump to come in and speak. Why? The very first thing he did in his very first term was create a Muslim travel ban. You ain't got but one time, Craig. You ain't got but one time. You ain't got but one time, Craig. One time. Here's one of those little black colloquialisms. White people, hey, white people, you want to steal something? Steal this. You ain't got but one time to disrespect me, bitch. You'll never see me again. You ain't got but one time to let your goddamn mask slip a half-inch, bitch, and I'm gone. You will never see me again. That is a black folk mentality. One time, Craig. Hit me one time, I'm out. Disrespect me one time, I'm out. One time. Now, white people, Jill Stein has not had a good proposal come up in her whole bad teeth, smoker's breath looking ass life. But she put on a keffir and everybody, yay! This mediocre white woman showed up again. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Latinos for Trump. You do know his first speech on the way to the damn White House was, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing crime, they're bringing drugs, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. A mediocre white man basically said, get your Spanish-speaking ass the fuck out of America. I will vote for Donald. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Oh, that's right. She was the one that was personally flying the planes that took bombs to Israel so they could bomb Gaza. Every type of hurdle was put in that woman's way. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is saying everything and talking about doing everything she's telling you is going to happen. She's in there telling you the shit. Giving you $1 million worth of game for a I voted sticker. Did you listen? Nope. Now, Rashida Tlaib ass out there talking about, we believe in all faiths and people should, bitch, you were uncommitted. You were. They tried to half and half Vice President Kamala Harris. They tried to half and half Barack Obama. Oh, well, she's Indian. She has Indian parents. What did she tell y'all she was? A black woman. A black woman. Why she get the half and half? How come nobody ever asked Donald Trump shit like, oh, I don't know, are you or are you not in the goddamn Jeffrey Epstein files, sir? Are you? I'll never forget the Kamala Harris rally in Savannah, Georgia. I tried to get press pass, but because I had made a joke, the Secret Service didn't understand. I didn't get in. But I did get in as an observer. I didn't get in as press. So there are Palestinian protesters outside of her rally. About 20 of them. Me being co-owner of a radio station, me having not one but two news people working here, I'm thinking, let me go get some interviews. I'm not going to be able to talk about it because Sound of Coffee is 99% Coco the goat and Persepolis the cactus, but Taz would, Jeff would, Taz and Jeff could discuss all of this footage that Thomas got from these people. But no, they ran. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me. But I never saw those people at a Trump rally. I never saw them there. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Oh, that's right. She helped with the genocide. Well, she could have told Biden. She couldn't have told Biden shit. But again, notice the hurdle. You see the hurdle? Chris Rock made a joke one time. He said, black people have to fly to get someplace white people can walk to. Black people have to fly to get someplace that white people can walk to. Nathan Kaufman is exactly another big ass example of what we're talking about here. Let's talk a little bit about Nathan Kaufman, shall we? Okay. So Nathan Kaufman, as a person, is a piece of shit. That race realism shit. Are you kidding me right now, dog? I mean, look at him. Taz sent me an article right before we went on air. Nathan Kaufman is under investigation over Jason Arday pylon. Oh, now he's under investigation. Now he's under investigation. So the eugenics, the superiority of white people, black folks wouldn't be in academia. Now he's under investigation. Now, not before all that other shit, but I digress. Nathan Kaufman, a researcher at Ghent University and self-described race realist, shared a statement put out by the institution in the wake of former Cambridge professor Jason Arday's death, which said it had decided to take appropriate action. In a social media post highlighting the statement, Kaufman said, I am under investigation by my university for discriminating against Arday. Duh. You do realize all of those British newspapers, all of them, they didn't have a bone in this until this son of a bitch put it out there. You know that, right? And let's talk about the plagiarism thing for just a second. Let's talk about it for just a second. There are professors on Cambridge right now who have plagiarized and are still working there. It's a truism. It is a truism. There are professors there who were investigated for plagiarism and then given the appropriate whatever because they plagiarized. Yet they're still there. No Times, Times Sunday, the Times, none of that. None of those people investigated these white professors who have all, been investigated for plagiarism. Not a single one. No articles, no media coverage, nothing. What made Jason Arday different? And when you look at the person that started this entire mess, how did Cambridge let this man even get a degree? How you get a record deal? That Big Daddy Kane had a song on one of his albums called "How'd You Get a Record Deal?" You should listen to it. It's quite funny. How did he get a degree from Cambridge? How? Do you think this race realist shit happened in a vacuum? No. This little punk ass bitch has been like this for a hot fucking minute. How did he get a degree in Cambridge? How? We can start there. We can start right there. We can start right there. How did this man get a degree in Cambridge or from Cambridge? How? And let's be honest, kids. Higher academia does not like black people. I said what I said. I don't give a shit if it's Harvard, Yale, Princeton, whether it's Cambridge. I don't care. Higher academia does not like anybody that ain't white and man. There you go. Higher academia doesn't. It does not. To all of my Asian brothers and sisters, that model minority shit, you are the chained dog on that leash. You are. They're going to use you as an example of hard work and sacrifice, and they're only going to pull you out when other people achieve the academic excellence that these mediocre ass white folks got. Oh, wait. Hold on. Are the Negroes, the women, and the gay people, are they trying to achieve higher education excellence? Oh, wait. Hold on. Asian community, come here. Come here, Asians. Come here. Come get them. Nathan Coffin should not have a degree from Cambridge. Not with that shit on his jacket. How the hell is it in this day and time? If I died, but I had a criminal record, that's the first thing you're going to hear about. Nathan Coffin calls himself a race realist. How the fuck do you get a degree from Cambridge? I tell you how. Because Nathan Coffin is a mediocre white man. That's how. That's it. That's it, kids. That's it. He got it because he's a mediocre white man in higher academia where mediocrity is okay. Black excellence is not. In the political realm, an overqualified black woman can't be president because of the actions of her boss, an aging white man. But it is okay to vote for an aging white man who doesn't like the demographic that's going to be voting for him in the first place. When that Trump Gaza video came out, I laughed. I laughed from a deep part. I laughed from my ancestors. I did. I laughed from the deepest part of my ancestors. Every guffaw, every came from people within my bloodline that picked cotton in sweltering heat. Why? Because all those free Palestine people had to realize you hitched your wagon to a runaway train on fire going over a goddamn cliff, and the conductor don't give a fuck about you. That Trump Gaza video had me, I laughed from my Martin Luther King. My Sojourner Truth laughed. My Robert Smalls just cracked the fuck up because it proved my point. White mediocrity is perfectly okay. We'll celebrate it. But if black excellence comes anywhere near a level of power or a level of prestige, the Nathan Coffices of the world will show up. And people will fall for it. People will fall for it. Over and over and over again. Every fucking time.
At times it felt like a full-blown witch hunt and moral panic. Now you might say, well, in this case, there was witchery there because he did commit mistakes and maybe there was plagiarism. Fine. There are loads of examples of academics that have committed plagiarism. Day after day of endless newspaper coverage of finding any student who had ever received a bad tutorial from this guy or some bad lecture notes literally being used by the Times newspaper, in one case, as paid for ads to get people to click and subscribe to Times, dredging up any anonymous student that they might have been able to find who once had a bad experience with the guy. And crucially, were doing so after the point at which he resigned, at which point one has to ask, what was there more to say about this story? Not on the institutional side. By all means, do reporting about Cambridge and his appointment and all of that. But was it really necessary to, after the point of resignation, hound the guy? I mean, you know, when we were talking about it last week, John, when we were thinking about who are you going to cover this, one of the senior producers on the show said, he's going to kill himself, isn't he? Everyone could see where this was going. And although we've got to be careful about suicide and talking about the motivations of suicide, of course we must, it is clear, it would seem impossible to the point of absurdity not to believe that the way he was treated, basically as a sort of public enemy number one in the press, likely did not contribute to where he ended up.
Was the public interested in the story? Yes. What was the public interest? And I think those are two different questions that you need to answer. And as you say, Lewis, surely there was a point where he resigned, they'd got their guy. I mean, you said it was a sort of moral panic. It felt to me like a blood sport. You're chasing after. We didn't kill him. I mean, he jumped over the edge of a cliff.
Well, I was thinking about using the word lynching.
Well, it was a lynch. You can have a lynching without a rope on which someone is hung. It felt like that sort of, we're chasing after you. We're getting closer. We've got you. Right. It doesn't stop, though, when they've got him and he said, okay, I resign. It carried on after that. Arday's great misfortune was for this to come at the start of the silly season for journalism. That period where it is the dog days and there's not much happening and the politicians are away on holiday and you're desperately trying to fill your newspaper or your airwaves with stories of something. And the Jason Arday story fell sweetly into that particular kind of miasma. And what it's done is it carried on and on and on and on. And it's a silly season story that has now cost a life.
I want y'all to understand something. When Jeff and I first decided to do GCPR, I'll be the first person to tell you, my whole thing was I wanted Jeff to be bigger. I wanted people to know Jeff Kennedy. I did. Jeff Kennedy is one of the most intelligent news people I know. We were lucky, him and I both. We've said this to her and we've said this about her. Him and I were lucky that someone like Taz, who also is a researcher and loves the news, wanted to be a part of this station. We have two different divisions. Please understand that. Jeff is the president and head of the news. I'm the CEO and chief content creator. So everything that you see in here on GCPR goes through me. And if it is a news story, it goes through Jeff. Taz kicks ass. We both have said this to her and we've said this about her. But there was one thing one crucial thing that I said to Jeff and that Jeff and I said to Tad, which is this. We're going to give people the news that they need to hear. No sensationalism, none of that shit. We give them the news they need to hear. So between Taz and Jeff, a story like Jason Arday's would have never shown up on their desk. Period. Morning, man, I love you. A story like Jason Arday's would have never, Jeff would have not spent 3 hours on Sunday talking about that shit. Taz wouldn't have spent one day talking about that shit. Not one goddamn day. Because they understand who, what, where, when, why, and how are important in this day and age. We are a small internet radio station. And we have standards better than all of the British press. I'm going to say that one more time because I really need you to hear me. A small internet radio station has more integrity and more journalistic integrity than the entirety of the British press. Do y'all see how effed up that is? Y'all see that? We would love if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel. Absolutely. 100%. Bring your friends. Tell them to go look at old videos. Tell them to look at old shows and things of that nature. Yes, please, by all means. But understand that we don't sensationalize shit around here. We don't. If Jeff started to do sensationalistic journalism, I'd say something. And I'm the only one at this company that would and could. If Taz started going on sensational Perez Hilton type bullshit, I'm the one that she would have to talk to. Because I am the chief content creator of this radio station. You're not putting that shit out. You're not. That's why when the Sound of Coffee started, I made it a rule that I was not going to have guests unless I absolutely wanted them there. Because at 8-something in the morning Eastern Standard Time, you don't need all that yelling and hollering and nigger bitch and shit. You don't need that. And this is a goofy, wacky morning show. If I've got those standards, what the hell makes you think my partner and co-owner of the radio station would not? What makes you think the news division, which is Jeff and Taz, what makes you think they would go for that? Bring some sensational ass shit to Taz and watch what happens. Bring some of that red meat, red bait bullshit to Jeff and Taz. See how fast she'll cuss you out in a different language, and he's just going to turn around and walk away like your bitch ass ain't there. Just do it. But not the British press. No, not the British press. Nope. Not the British press. No. No, for them, the story was there, and we kept going and kept going and kept going. And let's address this plagiarism shit once and for all. Not dog it. No, shut up. Let's address this plagiarism shit once and for all. He didn't plagiarize. When this shit came up, when this bullshit came up, they did an investigation. Cambridge sent out this plagiarism accusation to another part of Cambridge. They investigated it, and there was no plagiarism. So if the institution that this man worked for looked at his shit and said, yeah, there's no plagiarism, why'd you go back to his childhood? Why'd you do that? Why did you start questioning whether or not he raised money for charities by running? Why'd you do that? Why'd you start asking people that went to school with him when he was a kid? Why'd you do that? Mind you, it's supposed to be about plagiarism, remember? Remember, it's supposed, over here, remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers. It's supposed to be about plagiarism, right? That's what old Nathan Coffin said, right? Remember? So if the institution he works for said, nah, there wasn't no plagiarism, why are you all the way over there? Why are you over there? Talking about his childhood and his charity runs and things. Why are you over there? Why are you sitting in front of his family's house right now and the man's been dead since the 14th of August? The man's been dead 5 days. Or no, 6 days. Today. 6. Why are you over there? Why are you over there? Because that story, there's just not enough meat. Oh, we got to get more meat. There's some bone marrow in that bitch. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Do y'all see where I'm going with all of this? Do y'all see where I am, what I am shaping? Are you seeing it? This, ladies and gentlemen, is that tiredness that black folks carry constantly. This is the weariness that you see in us. The anger, the mistrust, the dismissal of people, of community. We fight for everybody, and we still get fucked. Still. It almost seems as though no matter what empirical facts we bring to the table, that black skin shows up first. Always. Always. My mother and father weren't illiterate type people, but they weren't schooled. My father dropped out in 6th grade after his mother passed away. My mother dropped out in 11th grade. But they pushed education on the 5 of us like you would not believe. They pushed education on us like you would not believe. My mother had one rule when it came to education. Bring her a high school diploma. That was it. Something she could not achieve or something she didn't achieve, she wanted out of the 5 of us. And literally, the 5 of us did that. Even the sister I don't talk to, LaQuisha, she got a GED. She brought their GED diploma to my mother. But every one of us, every single one of us, brought a diploma to my mother. My mother never made one single solitary track meet I was ever at. But she made every goddamn parent-teacher conference. And I was okay with it. She couldn't show up at my track meet. She was working 2 and sometimes 3 jobs. But parent-teacher conference, my mother was driving. Me and my sister go to one school. Rocky go to one school. Quisha go to another school. She was driving. Parent-teacher conference. Did that for my older sister. Yeah, I'm not going to make cheerleading, but bitch, watch me show up at your goddamn parent-teacher conference. All right. Tell me what she's doing. Tell me where she's fucking up. Where that? I had an accusation happen to me that literally made it to where I didn't graduate from 8th grade. A girl accused me of doing something that I did not do. Didn't do it. Had nothing to do with it. They were talking about expelling me. Then they called my mom. Martha Ann was not with the shits. You gonna interrupt his education? You gonna end up his education? Oh, hell no. Nah, motherfucker. The fuck you will. So I'm told I'm not going to walk for 8th grade because of this accusation. All right. I'm crying. They call mom. Mom shows up. And I mean, when I say mom showed up within the hour. They called her. She was there within the hour. They brought this little girl's father in. They brought the other dude and his mom and dad in. And there was me. They asked that girl flat out, did this happen? She said, Thomas didn't do anything. That was the end of it. But my mother was there. Actually, what it was in my 8th grade graduation was they messed up my goddamn credits. They did. Fucked them up. Said I wasn't going to walk. Said I'd have to repeat the 8th grade again. My mother showed up and shit. By the time she was done, the school counselor, the vice principal, the principal, a couple of my teachers, they were all in there doing no. We're sorry, Mrs. McCormick. And my mother let him have it. Because y'all fuck up. He didn't get a chance to walk across the stage for 8th grade, but don't worry about it. That ain't the big one anyway. When he goes across the street, he gonna get that diploma. And I'm gonna make goddamn sure this shit never happens again. That's my mother. You know why she did that? You know why my dad did that? Because when they were coming up, they had to go through Jim Crow to get an education. See, it wasn't enough that they were in South Carolina. No, they were in South Carolina during Jim Crow. They were in South Carolina during the time that you could go home, go to bed, go to sleep. Somebody could show up at your goddamn front door, drag your black ass out, and string you up in a fucking tree. That's the South Carolina they grew up in the time they grew up in. Education, we just want you to live. We want you to not be Emmett Till. So imagine that being your motivating factor. The ancestors that you come from, guiding you to bring your mother a high school diploma. And after that, my mother's like, go further. Do what I couldn't. I felt shame when I got a bachelor's degree in communication because I didn't want my siblings to think that I thought I was better than them. I told y'all that story. When I knew I was going to graduate from, it was called Ashford University. I still have my diploma at Ashford University, but it's the University of Arizona Global Campus now. When I knew I was about to become a person with a bachelor's degree, my wife was like, yes, I can't wait to tell everybody. I was like, the fuck you will. Don't tell nobody. That shame and guilt. You don't think we carry that? Do you think we don't carry that shit? Any black person in America can tell you this story. Shit ain't unique. It's not. That's why when you see a doctor, a black doctor, or a black senior nurse, when you see a black professor, you're not just seeing DEI. What you're seeing is generations of people being shit on, mistreated, called property. And that's the nice name they call you. You see years of cancers that people just went home and died. Heart attacks at 40 because of the stress you live under. The fear that one white neighbor who is a little bit too generous with the Confederate fucking flags all over the place just might call his Klan friends and kill somebody in your motherfucking house. That's what you see. That's what you see. Jason Arday came from Ghanaian parents. Ghana, a country on the continent of Africa. The place that is one of the most exploited, if not the most exploited continent in the world. Let me take all the natural resources. Oh, you niggers can't read. But you had no problem taking your ass over there and stealing shit. You had absolutely no problem coming taking artwork, statues, diamonds, minerals. You had no problem bringing your ass over there for that. None. You had no problem going over there for chocolate. Do you know some of the chocolate that you eat was picked by kids that are the same age as yours who are not getting an education? Their whole existence is working in coca fields. These niggers can't read. Why? These niggers can't read. Excuse me while I enjoy this chocolate. Think about that. What do you think his Guyanan parents are thinking right now? They loved their son. They cherished their son. They believed in their son. They were proud of their son. And now they're grieving for him. Because a below average mediocre white man said him plagiarized, and the British press couldn't wait to stick their dick in his face. Nathan Coffis couldn't lick Dr. Jason Arday's very nice loafers. But for some reason, when this below average, mediocre ass white man decided I don't like the fact that this man is here. I don't like the fact that this man has an education. I don't like the fact that this man is a part of the Cambridge faculty. Jason Arday had to go. He had to go, right? Right? He had to go. He had to go. But not this guy.
Arday was special. The reason Arday is getting a lot of attention is he took the plagiarism, which is fairly common in academia, too far. And he told these crazy lies about his personal life. And he had such an exalted position that the mismatch between the quality and the prestige was so enormous that there was a hook for a story. That was what was special about him. Not that he's a fraud, not that he's a worthless scholar. It's that there was a story. There was a basis for a news story that would capture people's attention. But, there are so many cases of people who are just like Arday, but, there isn't that kind of story potential. Well, maybe the lesson is this: what's happened if you don't give Coffness a job, right?
Yeah, you got your own ways to retaliate. What are you going to do, do you think? You going to finish your PhD? Or no, you've already finished it. You're just going to...
No, I finished a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, so what are you going to do?
Well, I have the job currently, and I'm still waiting for the revolution to happen, and then
It's going to take a while.
Get another job. After the revolution, I'll be the head of the Department of Eugenics and Race Science at Harvard, maybe.
Think about what that man just said. When the revolution starts. You mean the revolution where we once again center piss poor, below average, mediocre ass white men? Is that the revolution you're talking about? Is that the revolution? Is that the revolution? Jason Arday was a target. But the revolution is going to be the return of mediocre white men. Returning from where? The fucking bathroom? You've always been there. You've always been there. Always. You know what? Do you know what makes people, and I'm going to use him as an example, I always do, but goddamn it, he loves me anyway, so I'm going to do it. Do you know what makes people like Michael Pruitt stick out? You want to know what it is? He sees these mediocre motherfuckers for exactly what they are. Below average. And you're like, I ain't them. He strives to be better every day. But the revolution is, let's bring these mediocre fuckers back. As if they weren't sitting at the far end of the goddamn table. They're already in the room. Listen to this.
Ethan Kofnas, the David. I'm a David, but this is a real David, a hero who brought down the monster of DEI at Cambridge. Nathan, we have a lot in common. We both have lots of degrees. They happen to be real ones, but shall we abandon them and just call each other Nathan? The other thing we've got in common, just so everybody understands, the reason we are both grinning is that we are enjoying vengeance. Good, honest, straightforward, and Christian vengeance.
That man's name is David Starkey. That man's name that y'all heard talking is
Ethan
David Starkey.
Kofnas, the David.
Go look up David Starkey in Cambridge. He was Nathan Coffis before Nathan Coffis was a thought in his daddy's balls. That's who David Starkey is. The return of mediocre white men, as if they went any fucking where. They have been in the goddamn room since the election of Barack Obama. Since the election of Barack Obama, these mediocre bastards have been here. Day after day after day after day after day, day after day, hour after hour, there they are. You know why Jake Lang does all that bullshit? To seem tough. Jake Lang walks around right now, wearing a tactical vest with no fucking plates in it. This is David Starkey. Again, go look him up. Go look him up. But Jason Arday was the monster of DEI at Cambridge. Oh, you mean he was good enough to be a professor there? That's DEI? You know, once again, every time mediocre white people get a hold of something, they kill it. They destroy it. They do. My problem is, how many people that should know better follow them right along? Woke one was crazy. You mean the actual asking of decency towards black and brown bodies? That was crazy. The reason woke is such a fucked up word now isn't because of the people who came up with it, but the white folks that showed up right after. That's why. That's why. It ain't got shit to do with those of us who understood the assignment before the teacher put the fucking paper down. Ain't got shit to do with us. We always knew. Keep your head on a swivel. The existence of the Green Book proves that woke one, as you call it, started way the fuck back. When the chains came off, baby. Think about it. We freed the slaves, here comes the Klan. And we don't know which one of these dumb bitches is in that shit. Hey, yo, they woke. Oh, shit. Is that Mr. Miller that owns the supermarket we shop at? Oh, shit. Is he in Klan robes? See, I'm glad I was awake. Here come white people. What you doing? What you doing? Can I have that? Can I have that? Can I have that? They take it, and then they fuck it up. And then they try to dictate. They try to dictate to those of us who understood the assignment in the beginning. As if we don't know How bad you fucked that up? Woke one was crazy. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? Here's a tack-on question since I'm asking. Why couldn't Dr. Jason Arday be at Cambridge again? Why? Hmm? Hmm? I understand in the United States, the left wants to be looked at as the good guy. But you ain't acting like a good guy, are you? You are adopting the exact same talking points, exact same level of bullshit that the people you think you're against are using. Same tactics, damn near same wording, note for note. But you want us to be a part of that. Kamala Harris couldn't be president, but Graham Plattner could be a Democratic nominee for Senate in Maine. He came in the door with red flags, bitch. He came in the door. He walked in the door with red flags. And not small, tiny. No, the sort that would look like a fucking cape. He came in with Grand Regent Thrag's cloak worth of fucking red flags. But hey, he's a popular. He didn't have to do shit. He had a mustache and wore a goddamn trucker hat. And that was it. That was it. Jasmine Crockett's entire life was dissected. From the color of her toenails to her hairstyle was dissected. Graham Plattner shows up with a Viltrumite mustache, a goddamn Totenkopf on the chest, and a trucker hat. He's the guy. Black people got to fly. And I do mean fly, long distance, to get to something a white man can walk to. I don't look for white acceptance. In my life, I don't think I ever have. In my life, I cannot remember a time where I looked for white acceptance. I can't. In my military career, I didn't look for it. In my social life, I didn't look for it. In my personal life, I didn't look for it. My sex life, I did not look for it. None of it. Not one bit of it. None. I did not look for white acceptance. Because I was more concerned about being accepted by my family, by my wife and kids and grandkids, but by my siblings, by my mom and dad. Compared to the people I just named, white acceptance don't mean shit to me. It don't. Every day, I get in front of this microphone and this camera, and I hope like hell my wife is proud of me. Every day. Every TikTok video. I'm looking for my wife's approval. And she's white. Yeah, okay, great. But she's also my wife, my best friend, the woman I am crazy about. I just want her to say to me, Thomas, I'm proud of you. Fuck, I look like trying to get acceptance from all these goofy ass white folks. Don't believe me? Look at Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is a man without a motherfucking country. I said what I said. That man's life is in turmoil. Do you hear me? Turmoil. Donald Trump insulted the ever-loving shit out of that man. Called him dumb, said he had low IQ. There's Stephen A. Smith. Give me some more of that butter on my biscuit, baby. The National Association of Black Journalists give him a thumbs down. He's on Sean Hannity crying like a bitch. He is a man without a country. Officer Tatum is a man without a country. That man had the temerity and the fucking balls to get in front of a camera and a microphone where people can see and hear him and say that his wife looks better than Michelle Obama. Do you see what he did there? Did you catch it? His wife, who's white, looks better than Michelle Obama. Did you see what he did there? Did you catch it? Real quick. I'm going to do it one more time. See if you catch it. He said his white wife looks better than Michelle Obama. Now, Michelle Obama wasn't even in the room. She wasn't even studying goddamn Brandon Tatum. That's why you bring her up. Oh, that's right. To tell everybody she's not attractive, which is part of the stereotypes of calling her Michael, and she's a man, and she's transgender, and Barack Obama's gay. Do you see what he did there? You see that? Did you catch it? He's doing all of that. White acceptance. I've never needed that. I never have. The one thing I know for a goddamn fact, one thing's for sure, two things for goddamn certain, I have never, ever needed validation from white people to be who I am. Not one goddamn time, and I can promise you that. Because I'm going to be unique regardless. I'm going to be me regardless. I've been sitting on this thing for about a month. I've been sitting on this thing for about a month. But now I'm going ham in the fucking paint. StreamYard clipped this part. There is a gentleman on TikTok by the name of Foxhole Atheist Now, who made an entire goddamn video to say how he was unfollowing me and unfollowing Hawk because we're drama. How the fuck do you both sides this? But I digress. He's white, just in case you needed to know. On that video, this is the comment I made. Funny, I escalated this. These are his words. To the extent of threatening a judge's life on your live. Yes, I think this was escalated beyond reason. I've unfollowed both of you and Hawk because, as I said, it doesn't directly affect me, and I don't care for the drama. I'm not telling others what to do. They can make up their own decisions. Then why the fuck did you make the goddamn video? Why the fuck did you make the video? Why did your mediocre white ass make the fucking video in the first place? Ladies and gentlemen, I am a grown-ass man. You don't get to come at me and I play kumbaya. I'm going verbally for your throat. And the fact that a gay black man looking for white acceptance decided to take a piece of my show, cut it, doctor it, to make it look like I threatened a judge in Arizona, and fucking people believed it. And here's this white atheist who says, I escalated drama. I escalated drama. Why is it when I defend myself, I escalate drama? But nobody seems to have a problem when these mediocre motherfuckers come at me. Funny how that works, isn't it? Understand. You, Taz, you take it.
Here's the thing. I want to point out, Thomas just gave a perfect example of protecting whiteness. And I wanted to jump in because we had a problem 2 weeks ago with people not understanding what we meant when we said protecting whiteness. To say, oh, I'm jumping out of this because both sides are wrong, but use derogatory, inflaming, negative-based language towards a person of color, a marginalized melanated person, you are protecting whiteness. You're also claiming a moral authority by saying, oh, this is beneath me. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do, but I'm going to leave this alone. But remember, the Black person is always wrong. That is protecting whiteness. You can say you're left of center. You can say you're right of center. You can say that you're smack dab in the middle of it. But that is what you do. Also, ignoring boundaries is protecting whiteness and still holding on to an ownership mentality. You may be upset with Nathan Coffness, but a lot of you are Nathan Coffness. And hear me out. Hear me out. I want you to answer this internally. Do you come into spaces for an exchange of lived experience to learn from one another, or do you come in to turn every experience into a trivia night that you can win? Because far too often you're skimming conversations to insert little nuggets of information that you have instead of listening. The best retribution we can have as a society is educating each other out of repetition. If this situation makes you mad, if the situation with the president, the former president of Harvard and Columbia makes you mad, then why aren't you silently taking notes right now? Why aren't you thinking of the people that you know you need to reach out to bring them over here to hear these points of views? Why haven't you signed up for a Black History class? Why aren't you in an open discussion? And the biggest question, and some of y'all are about to have big feelings, but it needs to be said. Why are you still running to fellow white people having conversations about what happened 2 weeks ago?
The standards.
If you're upset with what happened to Jason Arday, I need you to realize what you participated in 2 weeks ago is no different. I need you to realize that the Hawk situation is no different. I need you to realize that what Carlos Dillard does is no different. And I need you to realize your place in it. And before you start punching the air and kicking and screaming and saying, there she go again, being mean, am I?
No.
I tell y'all all the time, I give advice based upon lived experience. I never come on here acting like I'm perfect and I've always gotten things right. We've had good laughs about my missteps through life because I can laugh about them now because I've grown from them. But I can say that at one point, oh, I thought that I was just pro-Black, pro-marginalized people my whole life, but I had to take a step back and realize, wait a second, I'm participating in the protection of whiteness. Because I felt comfortable in certain spaces, because they were giving me a pat on the head, telling me I was the good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to want to join sides with certain things and excuse yourself out of your own accountability, which trickles into you excusing other people out of accountability. And this is going to look real familiar to y'all. And then it turns into you accepting apologies that aren't for you.
Exactly. I need y'all to understand.
It turns into you praising people
Mm-hmm.
for becoming a coffee bean, but not being a coffee bean.
Yep.
You feel me? There's a difference between being a coffee bean and just being here with the coffee beans. We talk about it because we decided that we would call it when we're in the house together. Everybody ain't in the house with us. Some people are on the outside just because they're in the comment section or listening over the radio. Some people are outside looking in the window. Everybody ain't in the house with us. And you got to be okay with some of those people outside the house being your former friends, being your family members that you finally have to let go of. If every year you have the same damn story about cussing out the same aunt, you're Nathan Coffness. You're David Starkey.
Yep.
You're Hassan Parker. You're Candace Owen.
Yep.
You're Brandon Tatum. These are the people. You're Stephen A. Smith. And the biggest thing about Stephen A. Smith is that he said too many people missed it. He got his start because of an NABJ event. That's how he got into journalism. And that's why he's hurt. He is hurt Don't let the posturing fool you. He is hurt because he realized, he thought that just like the women in his family, like his black ass daughter, that everybody knew that it was a lie and that they were okay with the lie. What happened was proof that he's not okay with it. And in closing, I'm going to say this. For those that are downtrodden, rightfully so, about the death of Professor Arday, I want you to realize, when you're comfortable with Black women being disrespected and Black women being tossed under the bus, this contributed to it. Because what they do to us, once you show that it's normalized, they will do to you. They will start with a Black woman, move to a Black man, then to a Black child, then to a white woman, then to a white man. Because ultimately, at the top of that hierarchy, the only white people that they view as being worthy aren't even the English.
Nope.
So when you're so quick to, oh, screw it, I'm going to make sure everybody chooses me over this Black wench, it's only a matter of time before somebody else is choosing everyone around you to choose them over you. And if we are stuck choosing who's going to be better over who, we can never move forward. And let me repeat, the best retribution we can have as a society is educating each other out of repetition.
Exactly. Point. Period. I do not like comfortable situations. I have said this before. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Why is it that when you put out a set of rules, these are the rules you have to follow in order for us to acknowledge how you got here? We play by those rules and it still isn't enough. But this is a seesaw. This is a balance. While we play by the rules and still get disrespected, the most mediocre of us, the most mediocre white man of us, doesn't have to even follow the goddamn rules. And they get acceptance at the door. The higher ups give them the love and the respect just by walking in the door. Kamala Harris couldn't be president because she was a Black woman. I don't care. I don't give two fucks what anybody else says. I don't. I will hear nothing else. I thought this on November 5th of 2024. I thought this on November 6th of 2024. And I made it abundantly goddamn clear. I will never move off of that moment. I will never move off of that point. Kamala Harris couldn't be president because she was a Black woman. Don't give me the she was Gaza and blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. You know exactly why. You know exactly why. And those who contributed to the destruction and disrespect towards Kamala Harris are now begging people to give them help for the situations that they voted for. Cambridge will be fine. Cambridge will be fine. Nathan Coffin still has a job. Still. All of the writers that wrote all these fucking articles, 188, 260 something in 9 fucking days, they'll be fine. But Jason Arday is dead. Dr. Jason Arday is dead. White people didn't give a fuck about police brutality in Black communities until they saw it with their own eye. And even then they didn't believe it. Rodney King was beaten savagely. And a Simi Valley jury said, not really. But the motherfuckers remember them riots, though, don't they? They remember when our rage becomes so consuming that everything has to burn. When we get our sheep stealer on, now you motherfuckers want to pay attention. Now you want to talk about it. Now we got to ask, but why? Because you watched a man get his ass beat and said, it really didn't happen. Kamala Harris couldn't be president because she was a black woman. How dare she? How dare she? But Donald Trump can be president not once, but twice after fucking you over in your face. Not in the dark, not in the shadows with a hat on, in the daylight, looking you in the fucking face. Yeah, I'm the one that fucked you. Give me more of that. If you don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not think you can cast a vote for Kamala and be welcomed in my community. Jake Lang's in there now, ain't he? The Blood Tribe and all those goddamn races with the Nazi flags, they walking all over Dearborn now, ain't they? Ain't they? Ain't they? Now, am I directly saying that Donald Trump being elected is the reason that Jake Lang is in Dearborn? No, I'm not. What I am saying is this. Who protects you now? Who protects you now? I saw black folks out there doing anti-protests with Muslims in Dearborn. Why? And make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want this. I said this on the Villain's View, and I got real pissed off about it because I'm still angry about it. I hate that these people have put me in this position where I don't give two flying fucks about anything except black folk. I hate that I'm here. Why are you out there protesting for them? Why are you out there with them? They asked for this. But we're wrong when we say that. Our rage has to be tabled. Has to be tabled. Has to be tabled. I will never, ever, ever get over Bernie Sanders saying this. I will, as long as my ass is black and points to the motherfucking ground, I will never forget Bernie Sanders saying this. And I mean never, ever. But Bernie Sanders and I need 15, 11 minutes in the motherfucking parking lot. And I couldn't be, I despise Bernie as much as I despise Trump. I do. I'm sorry, I do. Because you lost an election. It happened. People lose elections every day, B. You be all right. You tough, right? No, he's not. No, he's not tough. In fact, Bernie Sanders is a pussy. Because Bernie wanted to level the playing field because black people weren't all hyped up on the Bernie bro train. So Bernie said this, I'm going to find it, I'm going to find it, we're going to sit here until I find it, we're going to find it, we're going to find it. Bernie. I despise Bernie. I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. I don't like the DSA. The Democratic Socialists of America, I don't like it. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I do not like these people. I don't like them. I don't care for them. I don't give a shit. And I mean that. I mean that. I am working my ass off to get the Raven Party off the ground because I don't like the DSA. I don't. Because, ladies and gentlemen, yes, socialist policies could save America, but you ain't going to get shit done without it. You're not. The shit is unpopular in mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging, uneducated town. It is completely antithetical to anything and everything these redheads, well, not rednecks, but these red hat wearing sons of bitches are saying. They don't give a goddamn about no damn socialistic policies, and they're not going to listen to you when you talk about them. These dumbasses don't know the difference between socialism and communism. My good friend, my brother, co-owner of Ghost Claw Productions Radio, and the head of our news division, Mr. Jeff Kennedy, is in the building. Morning, Jeff. I despise Bernie. Because Bernie said this.
You got to what we call identity politics. Yeah. You're black, you're wonderful, you're tremendous, you're gay, you're the greatest human being on earth. Yeah, yeah. And rather than say, what do you stand for? Exactly. You're gay, that's fine, who cares? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all didn't hear that? Hold on.
And then you get to what we call identity politics.
Yeah.
That you're black, you're wonderful, you're tremendous, you're gay, you're the greatest human being on earth.
Yeah, yeah.
And rather than say, what do you stand for?
Exactly.
You're gay, that's fine, who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you stand for?
When I say you can't
What do you
tell
stand for? What do you stand for? I had to finish chewing those because I know Angry doesn't like it when you chew on the mic. So, hey, Bernie, Eugene B. Debs disagrees with you. Because you know what you get when you strip the identity from somebody? You know what you lose? The lived experience. You lose the generations of people that prayed, got beat, were lynched, their kids were killed, their women were killed, the burning of the houses, burning crosses in their front yard, all of that. You strip that all away, what you got? What is that person? I said this when Bernie said that bullshit. How the hell do I strip off this black melanin, buddy? And the life experience therein. How do I do that, Bernie? Bernie, how the fuck do I do that? How? How do I strip everything that made me? Everything that was prayed for me? How do I strip the beatings that my bloodline took? How, Bernie? Jason Arday did it his way. Got to the top, and it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. The charity work, the history of Asperger's, the brilliance of his mind wasn't enough. We got to get past identity politics. Oh, you mean the politics of people that didn't like the fact that you tried to pander? You came down to South Carolina and didn't even bother to get in with the black community, to hear the black community, hear these black elders tell you what it is that is bothering them about the United States? No. Strip that away. Why, Bernie? Why I got to do that? How come you can't adopt some identity? If one more person pulls out that punk-ass, bitch-ass picture of Bernie Sanders being dragged off by the goddamn police, I'm smacking the dog shit out of somebody. Somebody getting stolen. Somebody is getting stolen. Hey, Bernie, why don't you adopt some identity? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe socialistic ideas can fix this country. I don't follow the DSA. I don't. Because the DSA believes the same thing Bernie does. If you strip us all down, we're fighting the oligarchs. Why am I fighting the oligarchs? Where's my why? Where's my why? Where is it? Do I have a why? Can I use boilerplate shit? Economy, jobs, universal health. Bitch, that shit don't work. Because there's no heart or balls behind. the Telegraph and all those British tabloids and newspapers, they didn't go after Jason Arday because he plagiarized. They went after Jason Arday because he had the goddamn temerity to be a fucking black man with a PhD working at Cambridge. If Dr. Jason Arday was working at a community college here in the United States, nobody would give a fuck. No one. No one would care. But because he had the credentials to stand amongst the elite in Cambridge, he gotta go. Because a mediocre, below average white man said so. Hey, Bernie, do you think Dr. Jason Arday would be alive if he stripped all of his identity away to appease white people? You understand, by stripping identity, the only people that are benefiting from them are mediocre white men. You understand that, right? A milquetoast, white bread white man, just mediocre, below, just average and below, walking into a room with me would be suicide to him. Not because I'd do anything to him, but because my greatness would literally crush him. I don't chase mediocrity. I rise above it, I walk over the top of it, and I let him get a real good look of my excellent nuts. I would have never, ever, ever, ever chased Charlie Kirk. For what? For what? When I see a black pilot, I think, I sure hope he's qualified. Bitch, you going in the first class. He in the pilot seat, bitch. How much more excellent can he get? How much more qualified can he get? He's got the plane. You got complimentary mimosas, motherfucker. I would have never chased Charlie Kirk. It would be a waste of my time. I did shit in 5 years, not the entirety of my military career. I did more in 5 years of my military career than Charlie Kirk did in his fucking life. I don't chase below average. But black excellence is the problem. Hear that, Godzilla? Hey, Godzilla, black excellence is the problem. That's our identity. We got to strip that away. Because Bernie said we can win. You want to win by me pretending I am not better than some of the people who we're against? You want me to dumb down my shit so I can get the approval of people who my credentials would kill them? Why did Jason Arday have to explain himself? But Nathan Coffis has not explained himself at all. Not one time. Not one time. When he opens his mouth, the same eugenic bullshit comes out. That dummy science comes out of his mouth. So I'm supposed to I'm supposed to stand next to Nathan Coffis. And yo, Nathan, our credentials are almost alike. If you don't get the fuck away from me. Jason Arday didn't have to explain himself to Nathan Coffis. But the British media made damn sure that Nathan Coffis and his mediocrity were the center of the story now, didn't they? Didn't they? That's why if you look at all of those stories, all of them, that the British media put out in the wake of what happened, to Jason Arday, Nathan Kaufman's name never comes up. Why is that? Why is that? How come Nathan Kaufman isn't getting that exact same scrutiny? Why is that? Why? Oh, so it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it? Is that one of them things? Jason Arday, show us everything. Show us that you belong here. Hey, Nathan, just sit there. Hey, Kamala Harris, you got to explain everything that Joe Biden did. It's on your hands. Hey, Trump, can you do that dick milking thing you do? Hey, Jasmine Crockett, God damn it, you better tell us why you're allowed in this and you're not educated. Explain to us why we should even vote for you. Hey, James Tallarico, talk about that Jesus shit again. Hey, Barack Obama, show us your birth certificate. Show us your mama's picture. Let's talk about your daddy. Your wife's a man. Why is your kid like it? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Trump, do that dick milking thing again. I want you to imagine that. I want you to imagine the scenarios I just gave you. Imagine it for 5 years. Hearing that over and over and over and over and over. Seeing the mediocre being rewarded, the gifted having to explain why they have gifts. Over and over and over and over and over. Imagine 5 years of that. Imagine 10 years of that. Imagine 20 years of that. Imagine 50 years of that. Imagine 100 years of that. Imagine 120 years of that. You're having children with that. You're getting married in the midst of that. If you say enough mediocre white man shit, they'll verify you on social media. If you are a black woman that it gives out the news, the information, they give it with sass, they give it with strength, they give it with intelligence. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, let's just suppress your shit. Put it off to the side. Nobody needs to see it. Oh, wow, is that Jason? Is that Brandon Tatum dancing for biscuits and acceptance? Hey, hey, Brandon, you want a blue verified button? Imagine a lifetime of that. Would you not be tired? Would you not be tired in your bone from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head? Carrying that? Watching as something that you do or something that you create gets kidnapped by white people, the mediocre one, and then worked to death to the point where when you started it, it looked like this. But when it came back to you as a slur, a political strategy. A political strategy where millions of people in the United States needed to say it not just to themselves, but to their friends, family, and other people in their community to be aware of the surroundings, because you could end up lynched and it'd be called a suicide. The police can shoot you with a double number of bullets and it's justified. You can be a woman with a degree and be called a welfare queen. You can be a man with 2 degrees and be called a nigger. And not even in any inventive ass way. Just let's use one letter at a time so we can fool a white, mediocre algorithm. You can be a streamer that streams for 8 hours a day, be a multimillionaire, talk shit about black people, back candidates while you're talking shit about black people. They can lose or they can win, but now you realize, oh shit, we need those people I've been insulting and making money off of. Please love me. Please love me. You have to defend me. Please love me. Please love me. You have to defend me, please. You can be an entire YouTube network to where when you started, you needed allies like a motherfucker. But then when that Peter Thiel money, you know, Peter Thiel, another below average white man. When that Peter Thiel money come in, you, there's a little more. There's a little more. Hey, you know what? Let's strip race. Let's just get rid of it. Let's stop talking about trans. Let's stop talking about women. Where this identity just teared away. So that we can celebrate people that were already in the fucking room. So we can celebrate the mediocre of us. Like Nathan Coffis, who single-handedly and happily, I might add, took down not just a professor, not just a doctor, not just a person with a PhD, but a black man with the assistance of journalists who couldn't find any fucking thing else to talk about. And the guy's dead, so who cares, right? Who cares? The story's done now, right? Right? Story's done now. The Peter Thiel linked race science network that penetrated Cambridge University and targeted Jason Arday. Hey, let's get some paid ads for our online newspaper by continuing to dig into the life of a man who had the fucking temerity not to look for your approval, but to simply be himself and excel. Why couldn't Kamala Harris be president again? That's right. She had the temerity to work in all 3 branches of government. She had the temerity to have good ideas. She had the temerity to be the vice president of an old white man, no disrespect to Joe, and not be allowed to be the black, intelligent excellence that she is. Because she got to justify why the fuck you want to be president. Why you want to be president? What you got? You a black woman? What you got? And on the other side is the lowest common denominator white man. A man incapable of change because he never had to. A man who all he had to do was brag and it worked as policy. A man who rambled. A man who was a philanderer. A man who has baby mamas. A man who is a thief. A man who wants to be a mafia don but can't even organize his own asshole. Hey, Just stand there. Milk the dicks. Milk them. And Jason Arday is dead. He was a father. 2 kids. He was a husband. He was intelligent. I can't do it justice, so I'll let somebody else do it.
Once. It was last year when he visited Newcastle University for an event titled Science All the Times. In recent years, I've come to admire the world of academia, particularly when I encounter black academics. I appreciate the barriers they have had to overcome and continue to face while navigating the overwhelmingly white spaces that still exist within academia. What struck me about Professor Arday was his extraordinary ability to communicate with such a vast and diverse audience, people of different ages, backgrounds, ethnicities, and yet somehow make you feel as though he was speaking directly to you. Before leaving, I felt compelled to thank him personally. I told him how elated, empowered, and proud I felt. He had made me feel proud to be sitting there, absorbing his words while surrounded by a predominantly white audience. His talent was rare. His talent deserved to be celebrated. Instead, what followed was something that felt like a media lynching. So when did every mistake, every imperfection, every failure suddenly become a matter of public interest? I'll tell you when you're black and excellent. Because too often, the moment when a black person reaches a position of prominence, the microscope comes out, the scrutiny intensifies, the mistakes become headlines, the humanity disappears. And when the opportunity comes to tear you down, they won't hesitate. I will remember Jason Arday for the man I encountered that day, warm, intelligent, charismatic, inspirational, and unapologetically himself. For those few hours, he made a stranger sitting in a crowded, predominantly white auditorium feel seen, empowered, and proud. That is the Jason Arday I choose to remember. Rest in eternal peace, Professor Arday. You deserve better. That was my piece.
I know it was. Sorry, I'm lost for words. You do his memory proud. You really do.
The fact that we have to have this conversation shows that we're not as advanced as we think we are. There are white people right now that know the barriers are there and refuse to do anything about it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, black excellence can't fix that barrier. Can't. We can't break it because we didn't build it. The foundations were laid when we got here in the boats with the chain. How many times has a mediocre white man changed your life? And I mean for the worse. How many of you right now are struggling with economic woes? Struggling with how to put food on the table, how to pay the rent, how to pay the light? How many of you doing that right now? I guarantee you, if you trace that back, there's a mediocre white man sitting at that lever. So black excellence can never get rid of that border. Can't never get rid of that hurdle. Because we ain't the one that made it. I used the word in the video that I did about this subject. The word was segregation. I don't like the word. I don't. But right now it's looking exactly like this may very well be what we have to do. And I'm not talking about some worldwide split. I mean, we have to look for the excellence in ourselves and leave it alone. Stop giving it to people. Stop. I said about 3 years ago that all cookout invitations are fucking canceled. Because we can't trust. And understand, other marginalized communities are going through it. They still don't get it. The Muslim community in Dearborn, Michigan are now understanding that your protest vote got you fucked up. And your anti-blackness and misogynoir is the reason nobody is coming to save you. Black folks give our labor, whether it's physical, verbal, emotional, whether it's content, whether it's speeches, whether it's books, whether it's news and things of that nature. We give this shit over and over and over again. And there's always a question when it comes. Oh, sure, you don't have a problem using it. But there's always that little caveat of, you love our rhythm, but hate our blues. You love black culture. You love black excellence. I mean, not black excellence, but black food. You love black hairstyles. You love black dancing. You love rap music. You love all of this, but you fucking don't love us. We strive. Not because we're looking for some goddamn validation from white people. That's not it. We strive because that's the only thing we know how to do. That is all we know how to do, is to strive. Because in the immortal words of Killmonger, just throw me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped off the boats because they realized death was better than bondage. We, black folk, will forever be shackled with the hurdle that sits in front of every single white person, and they don't do shit about it. It just sits there. And the fucked up thing about that hurdle is that that's the thing that hurts you. That's what hurts you. I look at all these goddamn poor ass white people champion Elon Musk. He don't give a fuck about you. He's the hurdle. It's cool when he's attacking our black asses, but then when he comes for you, like Taz said, there's no one there to speak for you, is it? Because you see, that individualistic nature that is whiteness stops you from seeing the bigger picture. You're mad at us because we do, and we do it anyway. We see it better than you do. You know what we do? Fuck it. Let me go be excellent. Oh, sure, you could bring up our stereotypes. Everybody's going to. But you ain't stopping that shine, though, are you? How many baby mamas and big black bitches can you call, boss it up and go? And she still ain't moving. She's excelling. How many of y'all have attacked Tad? Some of y'all don't even understand it. Taz can handle herself. Y'all out here trying to fight her battles for her. She can handle herself. What does she do? Fuck it. Excel. All the while, the same tired ass Nathan Coffices and David Sharkeys of the fucking world hurt you because they think they're better than you anyway. Let me give some red meat to the mouth-breathing racist motherfuckers because, you know, I'm better than them anyway. Allow them to be my foot soldier. So then you turn around, look at us, doing what we have done since the boats showed up, and you hate us. Oh, wow, is that hip-hop? I love that. Let me have some of that. You want the people that made hip-hop? Fuck no, those are niggers. Love the product of the strive, but hate the person that's doing the striving. I don't like the word segregation, but how else can we even fix this? And here's the part that I really truly said, and I realized that isn't even going to work. It never is. It isn't. Because even if we separate, even if we said, you know what, y'all do this shit, we good. We over here doing us. There's still people nosy. What you got over there? You didn't want me when you had me. Now you on your third baby daddy. Hate to see a nigga happy. You didn't want Kamala Harris because she was a black woman. But now your communities is inflamed. People are there with Nazi symbols, calling you, telling you to Muslim, go home. Please come and help us. For fucking what? For what? Huh? For what? So you can then turn around and do this shit all over again? No, we good. We good. Every single British paper has lost all the fucking respect in the world from black folks. All of it. These motherfuckers could come in and tell me my house is on fire and I still go back and check and make sure that they're not lying. That they're not lying. And why? Because you don't get a chance to destroy a man. You don't get a chance to destroy a man whose black excellence was completely on display. You don't get to destroy him and go back to business as usual. If I see a video or read an article by any of these people, by the Times in London, if I see any of it, all I'm going to do is go into their comment section and type in Dr. Jason Arday. How many formal apologies did the New York newspapers run after it was completely known that the Central Park / exonerated 5 were not, in fact, the thugs and criminals they printed about every day? How many? Taz, can you find out how many apologies from New York newspapers that the Central Park / exonerated 5 got? These men were innocent. Yet the president of the United States, the current one, took out full-page ads in every single New York newspaper calling for the death penalty for these 5 young men, who are now grown men, by the way. The city of New York fought and fought and fought and fought, paying these men out. They fought it. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? The city of New York, which prosecuted a bunch of kids, mistreated a bunch of kids, tortured a bunch of kids, literally made them confess the crimes they didn't do, and sentenced them harshly and put them in places like Attica and shit like that, did this to these kids, and then had the fucking temerity to go, we pay. Ugh. 0 major mainstream newspapers or media organizations have issued formal official apologies to the Central Park 5, now known as the Exonerated 5, for the sensationalized and radically charged coverage during the 1989 case. Now imagine if those 5 young men had committed suicide. 5 innocent young men who have been beat down relentlessly by our quote-unquote journalists. Imagine if they had killed themselves. Imagine. Only to find out that the actual person that did the crime not only confessed to it, but he told one of them, yeah, you're in here because of me. You know, the victim in the Central Park case has never spoken publicly about the Central Park 5. Not one time. Not one time. We've got books about her journey. We've got inspirational speeches about her journey back to being a normal person. But this woman has never, ever said one thing about the case surrounding what happened to her. What could those young men have been if this didn't happen to them? What could they have been? These young men are now grown men with families of their own. And they carry the scars of that. As do a lot of black folks who end up in prison for shit they didn't do. Don't believe me? Khalif Browder. Add Jason Arday to that list. I have tried my damnedest not to cry during this entire show. I have done my goddamnedest not to cry during this entire show. I have. I'll probably cry when the show's over. I will probably cry when the show's over. Why? Because the barrier remains, and the people that can fix it are too busy giving us lip service about why it's there in the first fucking place. We don't deserve that. We don't. We work just as hard as anybody else. We struggle just like everybody else. We have families just like everybody else. We're good at certain things just like everybody else. Yet for some reason, it's not enough. And all it takes is a bitter, racist man, a bitter, racist woman, a bitter, racist organization. It takes one tweet. It takes one rumor. It takes little to nothing for the white establishment that created the barrier that we overcame to get to the places that we are. All it takes is one tweet to bring it down on our head. I weep. My soul hurts for Jason Arday. I've been trying not to cry this whole show because of it. Because of it. How much more can we take, y'all? How much more can you expect us to take? How much more should we have to take? How much? Because whatever it is, give us a fucking number. So we ain't got to do this no more. We're tired. You want to know what black fatigue is? There it is. Not white people being tired of black folks. Black folks being tired of society, of watching as the shit that we do and the things that we say be used against us. We are tired of saving people only to have those same people fucking hate us. We are tired of being measured by the lowest common denominator when we have to be on our P's and fucking Q's and be dotting I's and crossing T's. We are tired of black excellence being looked at as some sort of a handout. We are tired.
As we close out today, I want all of you all to take something into consideration. You take pride in your heritage, in your familial ties. Now is the time. Now is the time to prove who your ancestors are. Now is the time to prove who you are as a person at your core. You have wondered for so many years, for so many generations, how certain times in history happened. You're living through the regurgitation of how they happened. The question now is, what will you do? We've heard you over the years saying if you would have been there with Anne Frank, nobody would have been able to enslave you during antebellum slavery. All of these things. Now it is time to put your proverbial money where your mouth is. Nobody needs your moments of trivia. Nobody needs to know your credentials. People need to know who you are at your
Only
core.
met
Because
Professor
if there are
Jason Arday
so
once.
many great people out there in the world that are standing on the correct side of history, why have we not moved further? Why is Jason Arday in the grave and Donald John Trump Sr., the leader of the free world? I want you to truly, truly think about that. And send positive thoughts to the way of Thomas today. Thomas, today was an incredibly hard subject matter to tackle. You did amazing keeping yourself together and holding tight to get through start to finish.
Just tired.
I know.
Charlie Kirk is memorialized. He would have been president. Charlie Kirk was a low functioning, uneducated white man. Why the fuck?
And here's the thing, in life, so few actually knew who Charlie Kirk was, because so many have admitted they had no idea. They just knew that a white man died, and they wanted retribution and justice simply because a white man died. Charlie Kirk was a joke to the point that his own staff, when clipped farming, never gave us a good clip of him having a gotcha moment, of him winning a debate. I want y'all to think about that. They played in everyone's faces by promoting Charlie Kirk with utter mediocrity. I want you, and if you think I'm joking, go look at the clips. Go look at the clips. These are clips from Turning Point USA. They promoted him with mediocrity. People traveled around to go and feel good about themselves by owning Charlie Kirk. That was the whole business model. That is what they made money off of. They weren't swaying anyone. Z or V or whatever her name is started the Un-F America tour, her own words, to go chase down Charlie Kirk. She wanted to be in the room with Charlie Kirk. And so many white-bodied individuals wanted that because that was their moment to take center stage. It was the mediocrity Olympics, and that is why it continues to this day. This is why Jubilee has a voice. This is why I tell y'all, you platformed Aaron Parnas, the son of the man behind Russia, because he gave you sensationalism. He gave you mediocre white man. How did you decide that reading half of an headline and then going, for a breakdown, go to my Substack, was news? You
This shit
participate
started.
in it.
Do you
every
understand? Nathan
day.
Kaufman started this shit on a Substack. Substack.
Here's the thing. You all perpetuate this every day. Like I started having my mods block people who come in and want to talk about Sasha Riley. Why? Sasha Riley put out a Substack. Sasha Riley didn't go hand in hand with victims. Sasha Riley's whole story makes zero sense. It's sensationalized. It's headline grabbing. And the fact that nobody's giving it headlines, it doesn't matter. You're missing the fact that here's another mediocre white person that said, you know what, screw anybody's pain, focus on me. And you do it each and every time. You need to reconcile with why you look to whiteness as the standard. How often have you all listened to me, Thomas, Angry, Pastor G, and the list goes on and on. But you had to go and Google or go to your white neighbor, your white spouse, your white friend, in order for them to tell you if what we're describing is valid. if what we described as racism is really racism?
Do you understand? My wife
You
told me
need to
last night.
reconcile with that.
My wife told me last night that what I should do is, instead of putting 10-minute videos on TikTok, record the 10-minute video, put it on YouTube, and then make a 30 to 60 second video with clips of it, and tell them to go to my YouTube to find the whole thing. If that is what I have to do because the algorithm doesn't like me, what does that say, A, about the algorithm, B, about the people that will watch it, and C, about the people that would have a problem with what I say? Do you understand? I don't know how to be anything other than excellence. Taz does not know any other way to be other than excellence. Why do we have to cut the shit the fuck down for other people to get it?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to do it, and I'm about to put y'all up on game. Y'all complain about the algorithm, just like it irritates the core of my spirit when I see people going, I have 1,500 followers. That means I have 1,500 likes. Just because somebody follows you does not mean they're going to get it. But here's the thing. The algorithm is determined by us. The algorithm is determined by us. This is why I don't complain about being shadow banned, because I know that the people who claim that they support me are not supporting me the way that they should, because I should never be shadow banned. Neither should Thomas. If we can do double, triple digits on every other platform when we go live for GCPR, we should be cool on the algorithm. The algorithm isn't picking us up, and our content isn't being pushed out because of you. You are gatekeeping us because, and y'all about to get in your feelings, and I don't give a damn, because I told y'all before, I sit and I watch. And you don't know when I'm watching, where I'm watching from, and how I'm watching. It's because you all gatekeep us. You gatekeep us so you can take a few cool little sayings, so you can take the knowledge that we're giving you for free and go impress the world. Go and make your own content. Go stand by the proverbial water cooler at work and make it seem like you're in the know and you're so woke and you're so down. You are not Brandy Norwood. You are not down. Because if you were, we would already be closer to equity, but we're not. If you were, Professor Arday would be alive. If you were, GCPR would be far more mainstream. When we all go live, we will be in the quadruple digits, but we're not. And you need to ask yourself, why are you shocked that we don't have more change, but you're not choosing to be a part of that change? You are gatekeeping the wrong shit.
Again, we didn't make the hurdle. And I'm going to end this show on this. I really want this to be put in your head, because tomorrow we're going to do laughs and jokesy, ha, ha, ha. But before we move, I need you to understand something. We didn't make the hurdle. We just lived with it. We saw it for what the fuck it was. As a black man, I'm going to be expected to be excellent when I walk my ass out the door, and I'm going to be compared to men who couldn't stand next to me, credential-wise, in their fucking life. I want y'all to do me a favor. That's why, again, I'm gonna end this show like this. I want you to do yourself a favor and go look at the story of General Benjamin O. Davis. You can look at senior or junior. It doesn't really matter. Look, Benjamin O. Davis Jr.'s story will break your spirit, but it will, at the end, show you we know the hurdle's already there. The problem is the people that built it, y'all ain't moving it. We can't. We cannot. Black people cannot solve racism, because racism isn't something we invented. We get mad when we hear, oh my God, reverse race. What the fuck is that? A reversal on something we didn't fucking invent? All we're doing is living with it. until white people get it in their fucking head that not only is it good to get rid of that hurdle for us, but it's good to get rid of that hurdle for you. There is a poor white kid somewhere in West Virginia right now. Brilliant kid, but he's poor. And they look at him, you from Appalachia. You just uneducated coal miner kid. That's the fucking hurdle hurting him. That's the hurdle. That's the hurdle. And until white people demand that that fucking hurdle be broke the fuck down, we will never in our lifetimes see equity and people like Dr. Jason Arday will have died for nothing. I'm going to end it. As always, with love in my heart, I say this. With peace, equity, inclusion, accessibility, love, admiration, and striving for excellence, I say this. We can't fix it, kids. And the only people that can won't. My name is Thomas Bishop. No, scratch that. My name is Thomas McCormick. I am a father, a husband, a brother, and a son. I am a retired United States Army Staff Sergeant. I have a bachelor's degree in communication. I am the co-owner, CEO, and chief content creator for Ghost Claw Productions Radio, a subsidiary of Ghost Claw Productions LLC. I am the leader of an organization that does not play by the rules because villains never do. We are called the Villains Guild. I am an upstanding member in good standing of an organization that puts words to actions. They are called the Outcast Nation. And I host a morning show where you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to learn. My executive producer is part of our news division. Her name is Taz, a black, educated woman. She is the villain at arms for the Villains Guild. This has been The Sound of Coffee. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love you.